Education District 10.
Go Dave.
And I'm singing from a church, and I am shaking right now because I have never run for anything. So this is, I think, my third campaign speech. Anyway, what got me on this journey was 4 years ago with the election. I didn't like how things went down. 3.5 years ago, I approached Jim McNeese because I felt that I was being asked to get into public service, and I'd never done anything like this before. I've been on a lot of organizations, committees, boards, I've gone to parliamentary clubs, trying to learn how to do that. But that's kind of what got me on this, and I have the support of my husband. A little bit about us, my husband is retired Air Force. We met in the Air Force, married. I got out of the Air Force so that we could have 8 children, and I miscounted. I have 18 grandchildren currently. The last one was born on the 5th, and so I've got 19 is due later this year. Anyway, but I thought, okay, I have all these grandchildren, and I want them not to be indoctrinated away from, their faith and away from their parents. And I feel like there's a lot of undermining of the families going on, and I wanted to make changes. And so I approached Jim McNeese about 3.5 years ago, and from there he said he had, at that time, even intended to step aside. He goes, I was just waiting for somebody to come take my place. So I had I've had lunch with about 7 of the board members. I've been attending meetings up there over the last 3.5 years. What I know I can do right off that I think is probably very boring to most of you is just slow down the spending. Ask for time for constituents, time for the board members to be able to actually understand what they're voting on, the spending they're voting on. I can tell you, for an example, in December, they voted $57,000 on new teacher training. And my campaign director over there, she happened to, we determined that God's my campaign manager because we don't know what we're doing. Anyway, that being said, we were there, and she's pulling up her computer and I'm crocheting. And on our computer, she goes, Debbie, look, it says, their whole website was just about that the new teacher training, our curriculum is too white. And I thought, who does that? Who does that? And I went up to Jim, and then I went up to Betty, because I have a really good working relationship with Betty. Jason Carmichael will be easier to work with, but I love Betty too. I'm sorry, I know some of you don't like her, but I love her. Anyway, but that being said, I said, how could you vote for this? I said, it's racist. I said, you don't want racism in our schools. And she goes, no. And she goes, but this has other things. I said, no, at its core, it's racist. And I said, why would we vote for that? We didn't have time. She didn't know it was in there. And neither did Jim. Nobody knew it was in there because the staff didn't tell them it was in there. And they didn't have the time to look and to maybe take some of that language out or get a different company or whatever they could have done. They just didn't have time. And so I think that the big thing we could do is slow things down. I'm for empowering parents. I think Kansas has done it right. Parents do have a lot of power in this state. You can freely homeschool, public school, or private school your children, and I've experienced all of those. I taught for 21 years homeschooling. I taught 3 years substitute teaching in the public schools. I have actually taught in the special education room. I have a child who qualified for special education for a year, just for the year. Anyway, I'm just going to leave that there, but my campaign director over there will be angry if I don't tell you I got Kansas for Life endorsement for the primary, and I'm so happy. And anyway, if you can vote in the primary, and I'm going to have a good conversation with Marvin because I want to make sure he's heard too.
All right, thank you so much.